I study animals and how they work within their environment and what they need to function. And so it ties very strongly into what I believe in for conservation. And as I make art that kind of informs people about the plight of animals and where they live and how we run into constant conflicts with them, I think it's important to educate others and also to kind of give back to the organizations that work to make seeing them and make taking pictures of them and eventually painting pictures of them possible. My name is Dominique Montaño. I am a local artist here in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm also a grad student, and the kind of work that I do with my research informs the art that I do. So working with wildlife really inspires me to paint wildlife and tell a story about wildlife. With research, it's very lots of reading, lots of writing, lots of data, and this is kind of a different visual way to kind of bring certain elements of that to inform others or present it in a different way. So like kind of encapsulating wildlife, those kinds of pieces that are visually, aesthetically appealing, but also scientifically accurate. And the pronghorn's a big endurance animal. I love physiology. So I'm typically drawn to those animals that are just really, I want to be able to talk to people about them and kind of really dig into the things that inspire me about those animals. And it kind of just starts off with a picture. I sketch it out, which takes the most time out of anything. Kind of getting the proportions right, getting the pose right, and the look and the placement. And then I'll typically go about inking to make some really broad strokes, kind of add some contrast to the piece. And then basically watercolored into it. We went about throwing on this collage, so we ripped up Fort Collins Natural Areas map, and we kind of glued it on with some adhesive. And then the final steps, it's kind of the distinguishing feature of my art is the drips and splatters, just to kind of add an element of the animal kind of folding back into the main canvas. As I do art more, the more like I have a drive to be like, I want it to say something and be really, stand out and have, kind of have the Fort Collins maps and have meaning to it. It's not just looking and walking away, especially with what I'm trying to say with my art. Like we as humans are affecting the land, we're affecting these populations, but we need to take longer looks at these things and our parts in them and how we interact with them, even if it's just like incorporating the collage. It keeps it closer to home and not just a picture. I particularly think conservation is achieved through education of local residents as well as just raising awareness in general. So when I post it to Instagram, I'll try to have as much information as possible to kind of inform people like, here's some cool things about this animal. Also, here's how we're wrecking its life, and here's potentially what we can do to kind of mitigate the effect and impact that we're having. We need to do better at treating wildlife better and allowing them to access certain habitats and really just think about, do we want these animals relegated to a picture or a painting, or do we want them to be around and what that looks like? And are people inspired by them? Are they moved enough about them to care about them? Or even just to think for a second like, hey, these things are cool, we should keep them around. One of the things that I do is I donate money back to conservation agencies as a proponent of conservation and cooperation with the organizations that I'm really fond of, to have that two-way street of knowing that that I'm supporting them and that this is a resource that is there for them should they choose to have it.